Hare Krishna, good evening, warm welcome to all of you. We start off the systematic study of Gita class. We are on chapter 2, contents of Gita summarized, Sankhya Yoga. What are we going to cover today? We complete chapter 2 and start chapter 3, followed by quiz, reflective, self-learning, participative session, then Q&A. I start by offering obeisances to my Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, and my Shiksha Guru, His Grace Gaur Vilas Prabhuji. I seek their blessings to be able to speak a few words on the verses chosen today in the Gita. Warm welcome again. Goloka Express is gaining speed. We are now coming to two important milestones. First is complete chapter 2 and start chapter 3. We complete the remaining verses of Sthita Prajna and then start understanding the concept of Karma Yoga. We ended the last class in this verse, 2.68, where we saw this beautiful diagram and very clearly highlighting to us what is the mentality of a materialist and a spiritualist. We are going to see this again in the next few verses because this makes a very, very important, it offers an important lesson to us from Mother Nature. What is the translation of this verse? It says, therefore, O mighty armed Mahabhavo, one whose senses are restrained from their objects is certainly of steady intelligence. So we have to take onus of fixing our intelligence on spiritual pursuit rather than material pursuit. What is the learning? The learning is life of a spiritual seeker is a life of a warrior. It's not an easy one. You have to defend the territory of consciousness against the force of illusion. We are bombarded by illusion every living minute of the day. And it is the onus is on us. We are responsible to try to control our intelligence. How do we control it? So we have five senses and we have innumerable sense objects. We must ensure that all these five senses are controlled. And Krishna says it's not just enough to restrain, we must engage them in pursuit of a higher taste. That is, engage yourself in loving Krishna. Then your senses can be under control. I'm sure we all of us can relate to this more easily. This is the WhatsApp call. Your dreams are calling you. You either decline or you accept. The choice is yours. So with that, it's our choice. It is in our hands. So we are responsible what we would like to pursue, material pursuit or spiritual pursuit. And let me give you a classic status. We are all today, there is almost 80 people in this group, of which a few of us have taken time to join this group. So we have decided that we will not go behind dreams, we'll go behind spiritual pursuit. This is not as popular as it is to have a pursuit, a material pursuit. So that's the difference. We have made the choice and we gain in the long run. Let's start the first verse of the day. Very poetic verse. Yani sa sarva bhutanam tasyam jagrati samyami yasyam jagrati bhutani sa nisha pashyato munehe. Sthita Prajna's day and night metaphor. So, Krishna has been using metaphors from nature quite frequently. So, this is the third time he's using this. Here, before we go to that, let's understand what is this day and night metaphor. Sthita Prajna is able to control his senses very naturally. Now, how does he do it? What are the tricks he is using? How can we learn from him? Now, each of us as a Manava have been blessed with two types of intelligence. One is directed towards soul, Atma. Second is directed towards matter. You want spiritual or material, the choice is yours. Now, intelligence fixed to Atma, Paramatma, soul, super soul, is compared to by metaphor to the night for all living entities. That's the first understanding we should have as we read this verse. It's not Krishna is not talking to Arjuna about actual night and day. He's only giving you a metaphor comparison, saying that what activities you pursue will decide whether it is day or night. The choice is with you. Here, as a spiritualist, we should be very clear that we will be standing apart from the world. Out of 80, only a few of us are able to join. Why? The time is the same, the invite is the same, but the decision is different. Each of us have decided what is important for us. Yanisha sarva bhutanam tasyam jagriti samyami. So, I also told you that this is the third metaphor that Krishna has used. The first metaphor was in 2.57, I think, when he says Angani Kurma, where he talked about tortoise withdrawing its limbs into the shell. Then he talked about the ship being driven by the wind. If you do not control it, the winds can waylay a ship. So now this is the third tortoise, ship, and wind, and now he's giving this day and night metaphor. So if you are pursuing self-realization, if you are pursuing spiritual pursuit, your domain of activity is daylight. And if you are a materialist, pursuing the activities of materialism, that is the moment of inactivity. Yanisha sarva bhutanam. So Nisha means night for all living beings when you are focusing on material sense pleasure. Tasyam jagriti samyami. Samyami is one who is able to control his senses. The Sthita Prajna remains awake because he is focused on Atma. Yasyam jagriti bhutani. Now comes the other comparison. What is Yasyam Jagriti Bhutani? It is the time of awakening for all living beings because we are busy pursuing material pursuits. And when the materialist does that, the Sthita Prajna takes rest. Sanisha Pasyato Munehe. That is the night for the Sthita Prajna. And all of us want to be Sthita Prajna. Why? Because we want to live happily in this world. And if we have to do that, we must follow this path. So you may be wondering, can I really understand how can we, I as a spiritualist, be awake when a materialist is speaking, and vice versa? What's the difference in activities? Why is Krishna calling material pursuit is night? Because let's understand the routine of a spiritualist, or routine of a devotee. A devotee wakes up at 4 a.m. That's the Brahma Muhurta. He attends Mangalarti at 4:30. He finishes his chanting by 6:30, attends Guru Puja, and by 7:30, he is fit to run his material duties. Now, let's look at what a materialist does. Now, he comes back home late. He has to watch TVs. He has to answer the social media responses, all the WhatsApp messages. He has to have a social gathering. He has to have a drink, etc., etc. What happens? He is not able to go to bed on time and he is not able to get up at 4 a.m. And if he's not able to get up at 4 a.m., he is not able to get into devotion. So this is the difference. Your activity defines what is day and what is night. Day is full of energy, night is full of inactivity because you have no time left to do the most important task for all of us as human beings. So the night activity is following material pursuit and daytime activity is following spiritual pursuit. Now, Gita has wonderful harmony. Day and night are examples. They are not in conflict. After day, there is night. After night, there is day. It happens harmoniously. So, what Krishna is saying, we also can harmoniously live in this world, provided we know what to prioritize when. If I have to wake up early and get through my spiritual duties, I must do that. And the call is with me. What's the translation? What is night for all beings is the time of awakening for the self controlled. And the time of awakening for all beings is night for the introspective stage. So our activities decide what is day, what is night. We are showing the same picture again. The cat is holding its kitten. It's using the same mouth, but there is love. So we are using the same time of 24 hours available to all of us. There is no change. There is no partiality. It is just that what we do, how we deploy. The cat is holding its baby with love. That's what we should do. We should use our time to show love and gratitude to our God, our Father, and that is Krishna. The same cat is holding a mouse in its, is holding a cat, a rat. What does it show? It shows fear in the mind of the rat. So if you are a materialist, this is where we are going to be. Same time, same senses, but you can either use for devotion or for distraction. This is how we should try to take home the lessons from this verse. Try to use your time adequately in the best possible manner, which is advised to us in Gita by Krishna. Let's go to the next verse. Very, very beautiful verse. Whenever you visit a sea side or an ocean, you must remember this verse. Apuryamanam achala pratistam samudram apa pravishyanti yadvat tadvat kamayam pravishyanti sarve sashantim apnoti na kamakami. What is the Lord telling us? He says, Sthita Prajna is unagitated by desires. So we must try to use this metaphor to understand how we can do that. We see, we observe, and we can learn. Now, apuryamanam achala pratistham. What does this say? Puryam means complete. Apuryam means that which cannot be filled. It will never overflow. That is apuryamanam. Pratistham. It is never going to allow whatever is inside to overflow, to breach its shores. What is that in nature? That is ocean. Now, there may be monsoon, there may be flood, there may be storm. Samudram apa pravishyanti yatvat. The rivers of water will keep flowing into the ocean, but the ocean will never say, I am full. Apuryamanam chalapratistam. That is what we should try to inculcate, learn, and practice. Tadvat kamayam pravishyanti sarve. Now, what is this meaning? These rivers of water that we see in the nature reflect as desires in a human being. The flow is incessant, continuous, but we should be undisturbed like the ocean. We have to take the example from Mother Nature. Then what do we get? Sashantim apnoti na kama kami. What is this na kama kami? Kama means desire. Kami means desire. So if you do not chase the desires, then it is na kama kami. If you chase desires, then you become a kama kami. If you are a na kama kami, a desire of desires refers to someone who does not pursue desires. He gives it up. He says, I don't want. I am quite happy in trying to use my time and my senses in the pursuit of spiritual knowledge. So then he is undisturbed by the desires. Let's read the translation. A person who is not disturbed by the incessant flow of desires that enter like rivers into the ocean, which is ever being filled but is always still, can alone achieve peace, and not the man who strives to satisfy such desires. So, whenever I visit Jagannath Puri and when I go to the sea to have my bath, this verse definitely flashes in my mind. What a beautiful example. We must be like a sea, we must be like an ocean, allow the desires to flow, but we should not get agitated. There is a beautiful poem written by Chaitanya Charan Prabhu. He says, our consciousness should be like an unshakable ocean. And he describes the same verse poetically. He says, As rivers rush into the mighty sea, yet leave it still in vast tranquility. So too the wise view temptations in flow and find true peace by refusing to go where desires go. So desires are constant. We have to decide whether we get agitated, whether we want to be devoted, or we want to be distracted. That's the essence. And the example is Mother Nature. What is the learning we can apply in our day to day life? Our devotion gets strengthened by these fundamental learnings. These are the key principles. So, peace will come. We all want to live happily in this world. We all want to be peaceful by transcendence of desires. Desires is constant, but we must overcome them, not by indulgence of desire, by transcendence of desire and not by indulgence of desires. In simple words, keep away from desires. We must live in this world. We need our senses to be satisfied, but we must only do what is advised, not overdo it. If I continue material pursuit at the cost of spiritual knowledge, then I am not doing justice to my human being life. That is the key point. The beautiful line which says, Bhukti, Mukti, Siddhi, Kami, Sakala, Ashant, Krishna Bhakta, Nishtha, Teva Shanta. You want material enjoyment, bhukti. You want liberation, mukti. You want yogic powers, mystic powers. All of this will only make you unpeaceful. You are not going to be peaceful. Krishna Bhakta Nishkama Deva Shanta. Only a devotee of Lord Krishna who is desireless, Nishkama, he will be peaceful. So after getting this inputs, we should try and control our urge to fulfill desires and say that enough is enough. I don't want to go on that path because that's not what is good for me. Let's go to the next verse. Another beautiful poetic verse. Vihaya kaman yah sarvan pumam charate nihas pruvaha nirmamo nirahankarha sachantim adhigachyati. Now, now we should understand Arjuna is asking Krishna, how can I be peaceful? And in his mind, the whole confusion is, how can I be peaceful if I fight? And Krishna is going on telling him that you will be completely peaceful if you are able to follow my guidelines of controlling your senses. So he says, what is the essence? Arjuna is also trying to understand, and we are also trying to understand. The essence of message of Krishna is peace will not come by merely avoiding war. It will not come by going to the forest. In fact, he says peace is an inner state, and the answer is within us. The choice is within us. The control is within us. We have to take the call how to be peaceful. Pumam, now see, this is the Sthita Prajna remains unagitated by desire. So this is the common factor. All these 18 verses from 55 to 72 are focused on this fundamental message. Imagine 18 verses Krishna speaks to show Arjuna that we can control our senses, we can be a Sthita Prajna by living in this world just by following the examples that he has given. This verse he says, Niyas Pruvaha. I will highlight these three words so that it goes into our DNA. Niyas no desires. Give away desires for enjoyment. Nirmamo, no possessiveness. We don't come into this world owning anything. We can't own anything. Everything that is ours today will be someone else's tomorrow. All that Krishna says, don't attach yourself to things by saying, this is mine. This is my house. This is my car. This is my bank balance. All that we have to leave behind one day. So try and practice that from today. I will only look at it from a perspective is I will have as much as I want and not more than that. Nirahankara, no false ego. Let's see what is Nirahankara going forward. So the verse starts with Vihaya Kaman Yah Sarvan. What is the meaning of these four words in this line? Give up desires. Niyas Pruvaha. Umam Churati Niyas Pruvaha. Charati means moving around. And Krishna is answering Arjuna's question, which says, Can you tell me how does this Hita Pratya work? Vrajeta Kim. And Krishna is answering that. He says that you have to be walking around these senses by having no desire to enjoy those senses. Free yourself from desires. That is the meaning of Pumam Charati Nihaspruvaha. What are the essential characteristics for that? You should not have this false ego. And what is this false ego? The false ego is when we say, I know best. We don't know anything to have that confidence to say that I know best. It is just our false ego which says, I know best. And we also have this ahankara, which is false identity. I am the doer. Most of us lament, most of us cry, most of us are unhappy because of this strong belief that I am the doer. Krishna says, give up both. You neither know everything nor you are the doer. Every act of yours has to be having some support from Mother Universe and Krishna. If you do this, if you give up your desires, if you give up your possessiveness, nirmamo nirahankara, that you don't have the sense of proprietorship, you don't have the sense of false ego, it has to be done step by step. It is not that it's a magic formula. I have a switch. From tomorrow, I'll be Nihaspraha, I will be Nirhankaraha, I will be Nirmamo. No, it doesn't work that way. We must understand, become aware, then internalize it. Immerse ourselves in this thought, in this concepts, and say that how can I do it step by step going forward? Sashantim adhigachati. Now, this peace also has two parts to it. One is peace of mind. Most of us chase peace of mind. We want to be free from anxiety, worry, fear. This is partial peace. What Krishna is saying, you will get permanent peace, eternal peace, which is based on love. And that is peace of heart. The heart, the soul yearns for love. And that love should be directed at Krishna. If you are able to do that, you have been able to achieve eternal peace. What is the translation? A person who has given up all desires, underline this word, for sense gratification, who lives free from desires, who has given up all sense of proprietorship and is devoid of false ego, he alone can attain real peace. That is the message that Krishna tells us in this verse. Is it possible to be without desires? No. We cannot be without desires. We will be full of desires. The only thing is that convert that desire from material enjoyment to spiritual enjoyment. You say that I have time which I want to spend fruitfully. Then you say that I will spend the time in offering prayers to Krishna, chanting his name, worshipping him, eating his prasad, visiting temples, visiting dhams. You can be surrounded by innumerable desires, all centered on Krishna. If you are able to do that, then you have what? Sashantim adhigachati. You will be perfectly peaceful. What is the learning? Desire for becoming Krishna conscious is actually desirelessness. Very, very carefully, we should understand and allow this message to sink in. Having desire for Krishna is actually becoming Sthita Prajna. A simple step, but it may take our lifetime. Let's go to the last verse of this chapter. Another lovely verse. Isha Brahmi Sthiti Partha Nainam Prapya Vimuyati Sthitvasya Antakalepi Brahma Nirvanam Rachyati. So now Krishna is telling us how you can live in this world where you will not be bewildered, where you will not have these questions of delusion. Arjuna, being so close to Krishna, is having this doubt continuously. Why do you want me to fight? Why do you want me to challenge my own relatives? Allow me to withdraw and I will be in peace. Now, Krishna is saying, you will not achieve peace by withdrawing from the battle. You will achieve peace by being in the battle, by understanding that my desire is not to just win the war. My desire is to satisfy Krishna's instructions of upholding dharma. If Krishna says fight, there is a particular reason behind that. And that is what we have to understand. And he's giving us how we can do that, how we can raise our consciousness from material to spiritual. He says, Isha Brahmastiti Partha. What is the destination? Now, the last verse of this chapter, the last point to answer Arjuna's question. What will happen if you are a Sthita Prajna? What will happen if you are able to control your desires? Your destination is Brahma Nirvanam Rachyati. And what is this Brahma Sthiti? Looks a big word. It is spiritual state of consciousness. Immersing yourself in Krishna is Brahmi Sthiti. And Krishna is saying, please do that. What is the translation? That is the way of spiritual and godly life, after attaining which a man is not bewildered. You will not have this question looking at your conscience. Should I fight? Should I not fight? If one is thus situated, even at the hour of death, one can enter the kingdom of God. If we are able to raise our consciousness to spiritual, we are assured of entering the kingdom of God. Now, you may be wondering, Sthitavasyam Antikalepi, how is it possible? Now, I'll give you a lovely example. So, we have a choice. Either we spend the whole lifetime trying to inculcate, imbibe, understand, practice these qualities of the Sthita Prajna, or if by chance we are not able to do it or we are not able to achieve the required amount of perfection, excellence in this pursuit, then Krishna says, even at the last stage of your life, you still have a chance. And let's look at the story. Parikshit Maharaj, one of the greatest kings to have worked or walked on this world, in this earth, on this earth, he once went for a hunt. And while hunting, he got tired, he felt thirsty, he started searching for water. And he found an ashrama which belonged to Samik Rishi. So he goes inside the ashrama, finds Samik Rishi sitting there, lost in meditation. And the tired Parikshit says, Oh, Rishi Maharaj, why don't you give me some water? He asks him once, twice, thrice, but the Rishi is lost to this world. He does not answer, he does not respond. Forget about giving him water. Imagine the king of this country has come into your ashrama and he is not getting a glass of water. Frustrated and angry, Parishit Maharaj looks around, finds a dead snake, gets angry, and throws it at the Rishi out of frustration. This innocent act of frustration turned this complete a story upside down. He became an example for Sthitavasyam Antakale Api. His son, Shrungi, came to the ashram, saw that there is a dead snake lying on my father's neck, and he said, whoever has done this, I curse him to die within 7 days. And Parikshit Maharaj, when he came to know of this curse, had two choices, either fight or surrender. If you are in the Brahmi Sthiti consciousness, you will surrender. He says, this is what the Lord desires. I'm not going to fight. If I have got 7 days life, I will lead my life in the best possible manner. He listened to Srimad Bhagavatam on the banks of the river from Sukadeva Goswami, and he attained Brahma Nirvanam. He attained the kingdom of God. It is the example. So we have a chance. Either we practice it throughout our lives, or, of course, now the risk in putting it to the last part of our lives is, are we Parikshit Maharaj? Do we have these qualifications? It is very, very doubtful. So we should not take it to the last stages of our life. It is better that we start focusing on it throughout our existing lifespan and try to gain mastery on that. What is the essence of the verse? Very nice example, Acharyas go. They say, water goes where the gardener directs it. The desires will go where you want them to go. Either you fulfill them, or you manage them, or you indulge them. Choice is yours. If you let's say, direct the water to a sugarcane field, the sugarcane becomes sweeter. If you divert that water into a mustard field, the mustard becomes tangy. If you divert that water to an onion field, the smell of the onion becomes stronger. So, what is the essence of this? The essence is the water is the same, the field is the same, but the crops are different. And each crop grows well as the water has been directed at it. And if you are able to use the same time, the same opportunity with determination to use that for spiritual awakening, you will achieve the same success as the sweet sugarcane, the tangy mustard, and the smelly onion. That is what is Brahmi Sthiti, spiritual consciousness. This is a lovely quote from Tukaram. He says, "The wise man lives only to repay life's profound richness. He is filled with gratitude. The wise man is permeated with a feeling of atonement with the universe. I do not exist," he says, "nor is anything mine. All that is belongs to you. It is yours. Look after it." That should be the way we should live in this world. There is nothing mine. There is nothing to be angry or arrogant. I have false ego and say that I am so rich, I am so intelligent. It's not required. You are just a small speck of dirt in this vast world. All that we have to do is spend our time gainfully in trying to be like the lotus feet of Krishna. So Brahmi Sthiti, the spiritual state of consciousness, will bring about Brahma Nirvana, and both are achieved by one who lives with detachment. So what is the learning we can take home from this verse? Brahma Nirvana. Looks a big word. So at death, at liberation, there is not an extinction of existence. We don't cease to live, but an elevation of existence. Look at the words play. Extinction, elevation of existence to a higher Brahman level, and that is possible by detachment. Now, with this, we come to the end of chapter 2, and I want to just test what's your attention, what is your attention span by asking a teaser quiz question. Are you all ready? If you are
Yes.
ready, perfect. Can anyone recollect what is the acronym of Gita chapter 2? Every class we mention that. An easy question. Any volunteers? No volunteers.
Ji, it is Gita, Gita.
Perfect. You get full marks. Well done. Now, that's not the end of it. I also want you to look at the answer is perfect. It is Gita. Now, what is the expansion of Gita?
Prabhuji,
Anyone wants
I
to try?
remember only first two, like G stands for Guru and I
Right?
stands for identity.
Right?
And
So I can't grant you 50% of the marks. Can we?
no,
Anyone else wants to help? This is see, I'm not here. This question is not really to get marks or not. I just want to test your recollection and retention. Ramisha, you want to try? Let me prompt.
Love, I give up.
You give up. Okay. Who else is there? Uh, uh, Saptadeep.
I'm not sure, Prabhuji. I cannot recollect right now.
You
Sorry.
cannot. Okay. If there are no
Hare Krishna.
volunteers, I don't want to ask anyone else and embarrass you all. The answer is, oh, there we go. G is for Guru, as you rightly said. I is for identity, as you rightly said. We all have two duties, and we have been talking about materialist and spiritualist. So we have a material duty and we have a spiritual duty. A is Atmarama. The 18 verses that we have been listening to, which we have just ended, are all about Sthita Prajna Atmarama. So with this, we come to the end. If I have to summarize, the second chapter is called Gita. G Guru, search for a spiritual guru and seek advice from him. Identity, we have to understand. This is Atma Gyan. This is the takeaway from chapter 2. We are not the soul, but we are not the body, we are the soul. That is the most important takeaway. The body is destroyed, but the soul is eternal. Then we have two duties. As we are eternal souls, we have a spiritual duty and we have a material duty. And A, Atmarama. Every one of us had this one single common question. How can I be happy? How can I have peace of mind? And Krishna says, follow either all the 18 verses or one of them or the essence of all of them, and you will be happy while living in this world. That is Atmarama. With that, we have completed a very important milestone, finishing the most important chapter of Gita. And now we go into chapter 3. What is the title of this chapter? Karma Yoga, Yoga of Action. What is the acronym of this chapter? The acronym of this chapter is TREE. So you should remember chapter 3 as Karma Yoga or TREE. Just remember this carefully because there could be a surprise question at the end of the chapter. So what is TREE? T stands for Tyaga. Tyaga in Sanskrit means renunciation. So Arjuna starts this chapter by asking a question: which is better? Is renunciation better or work? And Krishna answers them in the coming verses. Rungs on yoga ladder, that is R. Exemplary karma yogi, that is E. Enemy of the soul, that is the next E. So remember the acronym as TREE. So we will be doing only 3 verses where Arjuna's confusion. He asks 2 questions in verses 1 and 2, and then Krishna starts the answers, and we stop at verse 3, which is Karma Yoga is better than Gnana Yoga. So we will be covering all these things. I don't want to touch upon Karma Yoga ladders now. I'm conscious of time. Okay. We will now start understanding what is the connection between chapter 2 and chapter 3. Now, before that, I'll just flash this. This will be covered in detail. Remember, all of us as human beings, as Atma, Jivatma, we have 2 paths for having devotion. Either we take the extended yoga ladder, which is long, which has 8 steps, or we take the express elevator, which is quite fast. It takes us to Krishna by surrendering to Krishna. So I don't want to confuse you all now. Just remember this, that yes, we had studied about yoga ladder, and there is a yoga ladder. Now, how do we start chapter 3? I said there are questions. Arjuna is asking Krishna, and Arjuna says, I'm confused. Why he is confused? Let's start with that basic. In 2.49, Krishna said, Dure nahi avaram karma, buddhi yoga dharanjaya, buddhau sharanam anvicha, krupana phala hetavaha. What is the essence of this? It says, please don't do avaram karma. And Arjuna understands that as avoid inauspicious work. And there is nothing wrong in that. And then he also says, Buddhi Yoga Dhananjaya. Engage in Buddhi Yoga because Buddhi Yoga is superior to Karma Yoga. Arjuna is asked, having this doubt in his mind, Are, you are telling me that Buddhi Yoga, if Buddhi Yoga is what I have to follow, how can fighting be better than not fighting? This is the fundamental doubt. And what did we study in chapter 2? Whenever you have a doubt, you must ask your spiritual master. Now, Krishna has given this answer earlier too. But since Arjuna is confused and asking him, he will confirm that again. What Krishna means by Dure nahi avaram karma is not to do work. He's only saying that work without expectation of results. Don't work with attachment, work with detachment. So this is how chapter 3 starts. He says, keep karma kanda away, perform karma yoga. Offer the fruits to me, then you are free of the burden of success or failure. So this is how the first two verses are. He questions Krishna, please tell me, how do I understand your instruction? Because in mind of Arjuna, he is very clear that fighting is not good. It is avaram karma. For him, fighting is violence. So why should I indulge in that? And he says renunciation, which is part of Jnana Yoga, is far better than fighting. So with this, let's go to the first verse. Arjuna uvacha jyayasi chet karmanaste mata buddhir janardana tat kim karmani ghore mam niyojayasi kesava. This is a very important verse. Whenever you look at the verse, you should start understanding what are the key takeaways for me. Key takeaways is that Arjuna is asking or calling Arjuna Krishna by two names. Very rarely he does that. He calls him Janardana, then he calls him Keshava. And why is this question coming to Arjuna here is that I have listened to last 18 verses as a Sthita Prajna, and now in his mind the doubt is, what would a Sthita Prajna have done? Would he have participated in the war, or he would not have participated in the war? Because in the last 18 verse, nowhere Krishna said, because you have been able to control your desires, you can fight. He always said, by controlling your desires, you can be peaceful. Sashantim adhigachati. So now Arjuna is perplexed, bewildered. He says, I don't understand, Krishna. You never talked about fighting. You only talked about peace. And then you're saying I can be peaceful by fighting. So how do you understand this? Please explain to me. This is his doubt. Now let's see, as I highlighted, two names for Krishna, Keshava and Janardana. Now each name in Gita has a specific importance. Arjuna doesn't use any name without a background. So what he says here is that Jayasi Chet Karmanaste Mata Buddhir Janardana. Why is he calling Janardana? Why, what is Jayasi? Jayasi is better than. Which is better? Is Buddhi Yoga better or Karma Yoga better? Janardana means, Jana means people, Ahardana means pain. So he says, how can you, as Janardana, ask me to fight? Because I am going to cause problems to your own people. Jana. That's the reason why he calls Mata Buddhir Janardana. Then he says, Niyojayasi Keshava, which is better? Can you tell me that? And Niyojayasi Keshava. Now, Keshava is an even more important word. Now, Keshava has Shiva and Brahma and Vishnu in this word Keshava. How do Acharyas explain this? He says, Ka means Brahma, Isha means Shiva, Va means, why say Vishnu, who you control. So he says, you are Janardana, you are Keshava, you are the supreme. How can you ask me to fight? Oh Krishna, please explain this to me. So what is the background in Arjuna's mind as he is asking this question? You said, don't engage in avaram karma, inauspicious work. And I am very clear, I want to avoid fighting because it is inauspicious. You have told me Buddhi Yoga Dhananjaya, so I will engage in Buddhi Yoga. And what is Buddhi Yoga? I should not fight. So this is how he starts the word. Jiyasi chet karmanaste mata buddhir janarna. What is his thinking? If I'm going to follow Buddhi Yoga, I don't want to fight, oh Krishna, tat kim karmani ghore mam. This war is ghora. It is ghastly. It is ugly. Why do you want me to fight this war? I would rather be happy by retiring to the forest and avoiding this bloodshed. Then I have achieved your, or I have followed your advice of engaging in Buddhi Yoga. This is where Arjuna is stuck. Now, Krishna, now this is what we should try to get the essence is he's always been giving the solution. It is just that when we are thinking on one line, one path, we will not be able to understand what are the intricacies involved in that message. Krishna has never said stop working. Karmanya vadika raste. He says the only duty you have is to work. Whether it is fighting, whether it is studying, whether it is working for a company, whatever work you do, you must do it passionately. You must excel in it. But remember, don't work for the fruits. Don't work only for the fruits, only for results. Integrated solution. Fight, but with renunciation. Fight with detachment. That is the essence that Krishna has been giving, but Arjuna has not been able to catch. Let's look at the translation of this. Arjuna said, O Janardana, O Keshava, why do you want to engage me in this ghastly warfare? Tatkim karmani ghorema. If you think that intelligence is better than fruitive work, if you think intelligence is better than war, bloodshed, violence, why do you want me to participate in this war? So, what's the learning? Sincere student places his doubt before the master. And why I am highlighting this is that all of us will have a lot of such doubts, many questions on dharma where we are not qualified. We must seek the lotus feet of a spiritual master. We must take shelter of scripture like Gita, Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita. Only then we will be able to find answers to these questions which are intricate and engaged. Let's move to the next verse. The Arjuna's confusion continues, renunciation or action, even in this verse. He says, Vyamishrineva vakyena buddhim mohayasiva me tad ekam vada nischitya yena shreyo aham apnuya. Now, as I said, whenever you see the verse, we must first try to understand, is there any name for Krishna? No, there is no name for Krishna. Then is there any some words which I can understand? It is like, oh, Buddhim. Buddhim is intelligence, so he's telling me something about intelligence. Then he says Moha. Moha means illusion. He's saying something about how to control the illusion. And then he's also saying Shreyo. Shreyo means long-term good. So this question is trying to arrive at the essence, oh Arjuna, Krishna, please tell me what is that I have to do. So this translation is very simple. He's saying, my intelligence is bewildered by your equivocal instructions. You tell me, don't use Buddhi Yoga, don't do Avaram Karma, but you're asking me to fight. Therefore, please tell me decisively which will be the most beneficial for me. So he's reinforcing, let us say, repeating this question once again. Why? He's confused by the instructions of Krishna. Vimistrineva vakyena. Mishra means mixed. Vimistrineva means it is completely, deeply mixed. Your words are full of contradiction, O Krishna. That is the meaning of Vimistrineva vakyena. What is that leading to? You're telling me Buddhi Yoga, but I am getting into Buddhim Mohayasi Me. I am getting confused. So there is another. Okay, let me finish this and then I'll take Karmana. Now you have told me Buddhi Yoga, Dhananjaya. Buddhi Yoga is better than Karma. Karmana, fighting, fruitive work. This message is so clearly given to you by me, given by you to me. Where is the confusion? But now I want you to give it in one word. Either you say fight or you say don't fight. Don't give me a mixed answers. He says tad ekam vada, one answer. Nischitya, and be very firm. Yena shreyo ham apniyam. That is, what is the good for it by following your advice? I want to understand that. So why is he saying tad ekam vada? Why he is confused? Because Krishna said fight, and Krishna says uh, uh, fight, participate, but don't expect results. The results are not in your hands. So for Krishna, for Arjuna, the confusion is, how can I fight? How can I, create bloodshed? And then that is Jnana Yoga, that is Karma Yoga. It cannot be possible. This is his confusion. And he is understanding that Krishna is asking me to not do Durena Karma. So it means I should renounce this fight, run away from this battlefield, go to the forest and meditate. Now, what is the learning for both Arjuna and all of us is that renunciation, sannyasi, is a very easy word to say, but very, very difficult to achieve. We are not able to control our senses, our desires, in spite of all our best efforts. And imagine when we are sitting in this world, we have all the people to support us, all the devotees to support us, guide us to a spiritual master. Imagine us going to a forest and sitting all alone in the wilderness with no one to speak, no one to guide. How are you able to, how are you going to be able to control your desires? Not easy. So you are require qualification, you require training to become a sannyasi. That is not what Arjuna is qualified for. Buddhim mohayashi me. So I wanted to highlight whenever you see a word eva ending with vemistrineva, eva, and mohayashi me again. Eva is EVA, eva is IVA. Whenever you see these two words, we should understand them as certainly. So there is an emphasis in the question of Arjuna to Krishna saying that Vimishrineva Vakyena Buddhi Mohashiva me. Oh Krishna, please give me the correct answer. Let's look at the last verse of the day. Now Bhagavan Vacha, he answers. Krishna says, okay, here is my answer, O Arjuna. Shri Bhagavan Vacha, Lokesmin Vivida Nistha, Pura Prokta Maya Nagha, Nana Yogena Sankhyanam, Karma Yogena Yoginam. What is the translation of this? So Krishna is saying there are two types of people. Well, let's read the translation too. There are two types of people. Gnana yogis who renounce work and karma yogis who do prescribed work. Gnana yogena sankhyanam, karma yogena yogina. So there are two types of yogis. I want to understand which one you are recommending for me to be. This is the essence of the verse. Loke asmin vividanista. Look at Krishna. Now Krishna is saying, Loke asmin, in this world, vividanista, twofold faith. I think I have mentioned this to you, Arjuna. There are two faiths. Pura prokta mayanaga. Now, this is surprising to Arjuna. He says, I have already taught you this before. Arjuna is wondering, when has he taught me? And he has taught him because in 2.39, Krishna says, Ichate vitasanke buddhir yoge tva imam shrunu. Buddhya yukto yaya parta karma bandhanam prahashyasi. Thus far, I have described this knowledge to you through analytical study. Vita Sankhya. Now listen as I explain it in terms of working without fruitive results. So it is not that he is not told Arjuna, Buddhir yogetvam imam shrunum. O son of Prutha, when you act in such knowledge, you can free yourself from the bondage of birth. So, what is that Arjuna has not essentially understood? He says, I have never asked you to stop working. I have only asked you to not to expect fruitive results. Work with detachment. This is what I have already told you. This is what Krishna is saying. Pura prokta mayanaka. So this whole confusion started because in 2.39 he says, Durena avaranam karma. Then he says, Jnana Yoga, Sankhya Yoga. Now Arjuna is wondering, and this is how the chapter flows. Jnana Yoga and Sankhya Yoga you have taught me. Yes, I agree. And in that you taught me, I am not this body, I am the soul. Body is Nashwara, but the soul is eternal. This knowledge I have gained. And this is what I understand by Jnana Yoga or Sankhya Yoga. You also have told me Karma Yoga means Nishkama Karma Yoga. I should work without expectation of fruits. I understand that too. And that you have used too many words for that. You call it Karma Yoga, you call it Nishkama Karma Yoga, then you call it Buddhi Yoga, you call it Bhakti Yoga. I have understood that, O Krishna. I understood that. But my confusion is still existing. Even though you say, I have told you before. In my mind, Jnana Yoga, Sankhya Yoga, understanding this Atma Jnana is a gradual purification process by philosophy. I understand that. I also understand that the Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga is a direct, easy, sublime purification process. That is also clear in my mind. And I also know how I can achieve that by depending on Krishna, easy to control my senses. This is what you told me in 2.61, release from bondage. But in spite of all this that you have told me, and even though you say that I have told you this before, I am not able to get the answer. That is why I want you to clarify further. So, Krishna's, we stop at this verse. We are interestingly poised. Krishna says, I have already told you the answer. Arjuna says, I have understood whatever you have told me, but somehow I seem to have missed the answer to this question. How is fighting better than renunciation? How is violence better than meditation? In my mind, meditation is peace. In my mind, fighting is violence. So, can you please tell me this and clarify? This is how this verse is. And with this, we have come to the end of the verses for today. If I have to complete this diagram, what is Atmagyan? It is experimental knowledge. You read, you understand, you follow, you implement. It is philosophy. You read and you understand. Whereas now, why is there is a difference between the two? You can attain, or let us say, you can follow either of the two. But this is direct, easy, because there are only most important step depend on Krishna. The moment you depend on Krishna, he takes care of how to guide you to control the senses. Whereas here, you will have to do everything on your own. I will end this verse by giving a nice comparison between Sankhya Yoga and Buddhi Yoga. Why we should try to look at Buddhi Yoga, why we should not follow Sankhya Yoga, because this is an indirect path. Understanding philosophy, able to decipher the nuances in that is not for all of us. We neither have the qualification nor we have the patience. You need to really be at it if you are going to achieve success through Sankhya Yoga. Compared to that, Krishna has given us a path which is direct. He says, depend on me and I will help you. This is completely focused on personal effort. How well you are committed, how well you are implementing, how well you are executing. Whereas here, depend on Krishna's mercy. And Krishna has said, anyone who surrenders to me, I will always be merciful to him. He will always bless us. Unsure of success. No one with Sankhya Yoga can stand up and say that I will achieve success during my lifetime. He can get confused at any stage. Whereas here, there is surety of success because you are depending on the lotus feet of the supreme controller. There is no doubt that yes, by following the path of Buddhi Yoga, you can be able to control your senses. Purification is by prescribed duty. So, as a Grihastha, as a Brahmachari, as a Sannyasi, as a Brahmana, you will have to do all your prescribed duties, study philosophy, apply that philosophy, and hope that, yes, you are on the right path. This is long, this is not easy, this is dependent on your effort, and you are not sure of success. Whereas here, you depend on Krishna, and the results are also guaranteed by Krishna. Ends and means are both the same. So this is the difference between Sankhya Yoga and Buddhi Yoga. What is the learning we can apply in our day-to-day lives? Listen carefully. Our actions are shaped by our faith. If I have faith in Gita, I will study Gita. And our faith is shaped by our knowledge. And when I have faith in Gita and that knowledge is mine, then what will I do? I will start saying that I have to control my desires. Desires are the root cause for all the pain, suffering, misery that I face in my life. This is how our life can be molded to be a better citizen. Now you will be under our wondering, can you please tell me what is this? Our actions are shaped by our faith, and our faith is shaped by our knowledge. Looks complicated, but it's very simple. Now let's take this example. We are in a crowded marketplace, and then there is a sudden rumor which says there is a bomb in the marketplace. So all of us are laymen. We don't know what this bomb is all about. It can explode anytime. So we start running helter skelter. There could be stampede, there could be destruction, whatnot, but we want to save our lives. Now, this is our knowledge. Our faith and our knowledge says, be away from a bomb. We are not qualified to defuse a bomb. Fair. So we run and put ourselves into so much of trouble. But if you are a person who comes from the security business, you have understood that bombs have to be studied and bombs can be diffused. So your knowledge and your faith is dependent on your training. And you will immediately go to the spot, try to find where that bomb is, defuse it. So your faith, your knowledge decides your action. We don't have knowledge, so we run. So why we should study Gita? Because a person who doesn't know Gita will respond to like people who run away with scare whenever there is a rumor that there is a bomb. They will not even stop to clarify, verify, validate whether there is a bomb in the marketplace. It could have been a wild rumor. So this is how we can get blown by desires. If we are able to stand up, pause, reflect, study, execute, implement, then we will say that I have studied this, I have this training, I have this experience. That is the difference. So our actions are shaped by our faith. Another example. Now, the AIDS is got a very negative connotation in the society. But does AIDS spread by touching a person? No. It is simple knowledge. It is general knowledge. A doctor will treat an AIDS patient because he knows that I am not going to get AIDS just by treating the patient. AIDS is transmitted through a different means. You have to no, break the regulative principles to get into the problem of AIDS. So if you know this knowledge, then you will have your actions will be guided by this knowledge. So this is how it should be. With that, we have ended the session, and I now open the session for a quiz. All of you are ready? Let's start with the first question. Prabhuji, request your help. So please raise your hands, whoever wants to go first.
Yes, Prabhu. I'm just keeping a watch on all the raised hands.
Perfect. Right. I will also get into the grid view now. The first question of the day is Krishna consciousness is the best way for self realization because the process itself is putrefying. It is very easy to follow this process. Everything in this process is connected with Krishna. All of the above. What's the right answer? Yes,
Okay, so
Saptadev, first time to go. You're on mute. Come out of mute. Yeah.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanavad Prana.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, it's a D, all of the above.
Are you sure?
Uh,
Lock किया
it's,
जाए?
did you say purifying or putrefying?
It is putrefying, not purifying.
Oh. I'll go with B and C.
Sure?
Yeah.
Perfect. The correct answer is B and C.
Okay.
Well done. I had purposely changed this word from purifying to putrefying,
No,
hoping
actually,
that
yeah.
but
Actually, I didn't notice. Actually, it was, yeah. Okay, thank you. Hare
well
Krishna.
done, well done. So purifying and putrefying are two different things. Well
Yeah,
done.
yeah.
You have been able to catch the. That was a hidden challenge there. You had to be very careful in reading the word. Let's go to the next question. According to Gita 2.69, don't worry about the verse number. The question is, what is the difference between the wise and ordinary beings? The first option is the wise perceive day as night and night as day. Confuse people. The wise always see darkness. The ordinary beings see reality as it is. The wise cannot distinguish between day and night. Who would like to attempt? Prabhuji, you're on mute.
Yeah. So far, no hands
No raised
raised,
hands? Ah,
which is surprising actually. Yes.
yeah, there goes Shanti Rupini. Yes, Mataji, go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Pranam. Prabhuji, I think A answer. A.
Sure?
Mhm.
The wise perceive day as night and night as day. Let's see. That's the answer. The correct answer is A. Well done. Excellent. We spent quite an amount of time trying to discuss this, how pursuit of spiritual activities is the day and pursuit of material activities is the night. So well done. Third question. Karma bandhana, bondage, is caused by first choice, performing yajnas, working for sense gratification, working for Krishna without fruits, and renunciation without action. Like Arjuna wants to do. I don't want to fight. I want to renounce and run away to the forest. So which is the right answer? Yes, Srinidhi.
Working for sense gratification. B.
Sure?
Yes, Prabhu.
Lock किया जाए?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Let's see what's the right answer. The correct answer is B. Well done. You get full marks. Saptudeep, I saw your hand going up, but then Srinidhi was better first. So I thought, let me give it to her. Next question you can try. Ready for the next question? In Gita 2.72, what is said about the person who is engaged in devotional service to Krishna with full consciousness? They are entangled in material life. They are very attached to worldly possessions. They transcend the modes of nature and overcome birth and death. They become indifferent to all duties. Big question, but simple answer. There goes Ramesha. Anyone else? Anyway, Ramesha, you are first, so I'll give it to you.
Answer is C. That transcend the modes of nature and overcome birth and death.
Sure?
Yes.
Lock किया जाए?
Yes, please.
Okay. The correct answer is C. Well done, Ramesha. Excellent. Let's go to the last question. According to Bhagavad Gita 3.1, what causes men to be bewildered about their duty? The first choice, ignorance arising from ego, false knowledge about the soul, attachment to material life, desire for wealth. Nobody wants to try? Again, the question is confusing, but the answer is very easy. There goes the
Attachment to material life.
attachment to material life. See. Sure?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, let's see. The correct answer is A. Ignorance arising from the ego. Why is Arjuna not wanting to fight? Because he says, I have to end up killing my own relatives. So ignorance arising from the ego. That's the right answer. So you lose 50 marks here. With that, we have come to the end of quiz. Welcome to Reflections and Self-Learnings. Feel free to share your takeaways from this session. Anything. Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dhanavad Pranam. Yeah, it was from the last chapter, two key learnings. That is one thing that you explained through that ocean, that the rivers are like the desires. The desires will come in, but must be like the ocean, and that we should not stop. We cannot stop our desires. We should put into for Krishna, in Krishna's service. Desire for chanting and prayers and visiting the dhams. That is one point. And the other thing is about one is desire. Yeah, that Parikshit Maharaj, that image which you have used, that example you have given. Although Krishna has said that to Arjun that till the last moment, till the last breath of our life, we can perform this bhakti. But we are at this fallen stage, especially in this Kali Yuga, like Parikshit Maharaj, we cannot do it in 7 days. So we should always start early. That is one of the means a very key lesson. We should, as early as possible, this path of Krishna consciousness we should take on to. Those are the key two things I would like to share at this point, whatever coming to my mind. Thank you.
Well
Hare
done.
Krishna.
Well said. Excellent. Well, very nicely explained.
Yeah,
Thank you, sir.
yeah. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. We are on time. We still have 1 minute. Anyone else wants to go? Srinidhi, you don't want to say anything?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dhanapranam. Prabhuji, regarding verse 69, I generally read like what is day for a wise man is night for others, like that. But today I really understood that day is is for self-realization and night is sensual pleasure. So now I could really understand that verse. And
Very good.
also, there are two kinds of peace. One is peace of mind, and one is peace of heart. And peace of mind is relieving from anxieties and stress. And peace of heart is related to, it is based on love. It is related to loving Krishna. And the real meaning of becoming desireless is to have a desire to become Krishna conscious. That is. That also, Prabhuji. And another thing is, water goes where the gardener directs it. It was also very nice, Prabhuji. And another thing, last thing is that sincere student plays the doubt before the master, and that also was very. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Very well said. Very nice. Very happy that you could take home these learnings, and you have nicely described them. Well done. Thank you.